All right, what's up, nerds? So this past Saturday, September the 16th, we hosted a in-person EDISON tournament at Collectible Exchange, located in Southern California. It is in the city of Fontana. Me and PlaytestIRL were both able to cover the event, and each of us were able to get a pretty good, sizable chunk of content that will be released throughout the week. I will have a link down below in the description where you can go ahead and check out PlaytestIRL's YouTube channel. That way you can also get to see the coverage that he was able to grab as well. I also would like to go ahead and thank Albert, the store owner of Collectible Exchange, for letting both of us set up and record, and for also running a very smooth and beautiful event. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the event. We had 38 players in attendance, and we had a pretty nice variety of decks in the tournament. I was also participating in the tournament. I will have my own video released later this week on what happened, my own experiences during it, what I played, what I went up against, and you know, the inevitable heartbreak that of course happens whenever I decide to enter a tournament. It's so great. But let's leave that to the side. That's for another time. So let's go ahead and jump into the event. So on the screen right now, I have the pie chart breakdown of all the decks that were in attendance. As you can see, 38 players. We had one Amaryllis. We had one Hero Beat, like OG Hero Beat, which since like Hero Beat was like a very dominant deck for so long, it's kinda a little sad to see that Hero Beat was like OG Hero Beat. There was only one player. That was it. There was only one person, and I was a little sad, seeing as in like the deck used to have like easily over like 10 people playing it at any event. We also had Hero Frogs. We had one Hero Frog, like one just straight Hero Frogs. I think that was one of my buddies, Sean. We had one Fairies. We had two Gemini decks, which I think this deck will continue to rise. I think this will be a rogue deck. I do think that it's going to be more prominent in the format because I think the deck is actually really fun to play, and the just OTK potential that it has is just mind-boggling. I honestly can't believe it. Let's see, we had two Zombie Diva decks. We had two Yugioh Turbos, two Machinas, two Dragons, and then we start getting into the more dominant or more prevalent decks, being three Lightsworns, three Fog Monarchs, six Diva Heroes, six Blackwings, and which completely blew my mind because I thought I was only going to be one of these players, but we had six quick draw dandy decks. All right, six quick draw dandy decks. That's just, you don't see it. You really don't. So one thing that kind of stands out to me a little bit is that since, what was it, Deck Devastators 5 that happened, I believe, last month, I did expect for there actually to be a lot more Blackwings players. I did kind of feel like the deck was finally starting to re-emerge and people were starting to play it again. So seeing as in there was six Blackwing players and only two Yugioh Turbo decks was a little bit of a shock to me once I actually saw the pie chart. I really thought it was going to be a lot more. And honestly, I had like a good part of my side set up to go ahead and deal with Blackwings, as well as quite a few other people. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. I don't really know what to say. Another shocking kind of thing was Lightsworn. I maybe only see one like Lightsworn deck really go to an event. I feel like people just don't really care too much for the RNG aspect of the deck, where you're really hard just reliant on your mills. So seeing three players playing it was actually kind of cool. Let's see if there's anything else notable. I mean, it's Dragons being at 2, I feel like maybe there should have been maybe 2 or 3 more people playing Dragons, since Dragons has been kind of one of the hot decks for the past couple months. I'm pretty certain if we had more people in attendance, I'm very certain there probably would have been a different skew in the numbers for what decks were in attendance. There was unfortunately another Edison event that was happening in Los Angeles, so I'm pretty certain a lot of the people that would have went there would have come to this event if there wasn't the conflicting issue. So we probably would have gotten a lot more, and then this would actually probably look a lot different. So enough about what was played at the event. Now let's go ahead and move into the top 8. All right, top 8. As you can see on the screen, this is the photo of the top 8 players. What was it? We got my boy Sean down here in the bottom right corner, taking the knee, as well as my boy Carlos on the same side on the right with the hat. A lot of the players that made it into the top 8 are very, very good. I believe both of my losses were to people that made it into Top Cut, into the top 8, which was Sean, the one in the blue, as well as Sergio, the one in the middle. Both of them were the ones that gate kept me out of making top 8. So, spoiler alert. Here is on the screen the top 8 breakdown of the decks that made it to top 8. We had 1 frog player, 2 Lightsworns, which, I mean, like at Collectible Exchange, we've had 1 person get into top 8 or, top 16, however many people we've been able to get at our big events. And it's normally only been like 1 that normally scrapes in near the end, but seeing like a Lightsworn player actually get 3rd, all right? 3rd after 6 rounds of Swiss, all right? Just mind-blowing. I love to see it. I really do. The Lightsworn deck is absolutely beautiful, and playing against it is actually a lot of fun. So we had 1st place go to Frogs. We had 3rd and 8th go to Lightsworn. We had Hero Frogs going as 7th place, and then surprise, surprise, the number 1 prevalent deck, Diva Heroes. We had 4 people make it top cut with Diva Heroes at 2nd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's no surprise, really. Miracle Fusion is just too good of a card right now, and people need to figure out a way to go ahead and reduce its effectiveness. I do have some tech that I am possibly going to be trying out soon that I think would actually hinder the deck quite a bit, but I'll go ahead and do a video on that at another point in time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and now jump into the deck lists for the top 8. Starting off with 8th place, we're gonna start off with one of the Lightsworn players. All right, this Lightsworn player is actually playing some pretty nice tech. He is playing the Glorious Illusions as well as Lightsworn Barrier. I remember I was talking to him. What was it? I think I played against him and I beat him, and I was talking with him about like how he's liking the traps for Lightsworns, and what he was telling me is that he actually really likes them. I mean, they kind of suck because you kind of mill them most of the time, but whenever you're actually able to get them on board, like especially going into games 2 and 3, it's an easy way to just go ahead and be able to get your mills off while under Light Imprisoning Mirror. I did not even think about that at first until he told me that, and then I was like, oh wow, that's actually really, really unique and actually really nice, because as we all know, the second Light Imprisoning Mirror hits the field, Lightsworns are they're kind of boned. We're just gonna, I'm just gonna sugarcoat that one a little bit because I don't want to get in trouble. Yeah, they get a little boned. Another thing in here that he's running is Prohibition. Now, if anyone in here has spoken to me in person, or, you know, I believe I even did a video on it before of like tech, I really like Prohibition. Prohibition is a very good side card. I think, however, that you do need to be well educated on the format, as well as that you do need to go ahead and have a good grasp on what your opponent potentially has in their hand to be able to play it effectively. But if you have that game knowledge, you know your matchups, you can go ahead and use Prohibition to go ahead and just steal some games that you otherwise probably would not have been able to win. Another tech in here that I actually really like, because it does deal with the big issue of playing Light Swords, that is being Light Imprisoning Mirror. Trap Eater just completely circumvents that and gets you a summon, and then it's also a tuner, so you can possibly go into an 8 if you have if you mill a wolf, or you somehow get another monster on board. I think Trap Eater is actually a little bit slept on. It's only good in very specific decks that lose really hard to specific continuous trap cards. You know, Oppression being one of them, as well as Light Imprisoning, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. This just helps get rid of those entirely. But outside of that, I think the deck is pretty much standard. Don't really see anything else in here outside of maybe the art. I'm gonna butcher this name. Arukas? I'm gonna assume it's Arukas. Arukas has actually been getting quite a bit of play in quite a few of the Lightsworn decks that I've been playing against recently. I hate it. And I'm not saying I hate it because I think it's a bad card. I hate it because it's actually a very good card. I can't tell you how many games have actually been stolen from me because this card hits the field, and then I'm not able to Caius their monsters. I have to Caius a back row. I can't DD Crow the Lightsworns in the graveyard, so you just get your wolves if I have the Crow. It feels absolutely terrible whenever it hits the field for your opponent. So I do think people play one or two of these may or may not become the standard, especially since Soul Exchange and DD Crow and stuff like that are starting to be more and more prevalent. So let's go ahead and jump into the 7th seed. We got my boy Sean here. All right, he's playing the tried and true I'm Nerd deck. I don't really think there's much to talk about with the deck, at least with the main deck. Most of the main deck, I think, is almost exactly the same. Maybe it's running one less Soul Exchange, but that's really it. But when you come down to the side, the 2 Nobleman Exterminations and the 2 Sirokkos of the Dawn. All right, I think these cards are very nice in the side. Sirocco, of course, being one of the just a way to steal a game from a Black Wings player, because they won't expect it in the side most of the time. So go ahead and build up your board. They'll maybe swing in. You'll hit them with Battle Fader, or you'll hit them with like Threatening Roar whenever they're about to make a push. And then you can just go ahead next turn, summon Sirocco, effect the pump, and possibly just swing in for game right there. And if they have Kalutes in hand, they have to burn them right then and there, or else they're going to die. I've done it a few times when I in tournament when I used to run it in the side. It would just be great. They'd just build up the board and I'd be like, oh, okay, normal summon. And I would just look at you and be like, say what? You're running one of those? I'm like, yeah. And then I'll be like, effect the pump. And I'll be like, okay. Like, swing on like whatever the lowest monster is if I'm going for a game, or if they have a Sirocco of their own, I'll just be like, okay, swing over your Sirocco. Are you gonna collude? No? All right. Take like over 3,000 some odd damage most of the time. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. And then we do have the Nobleman of Extermination. I think in Frogs is actually really nice, especially going against like Black Wings or any other deck that goes ahead and like opens with like set 2 back row pass or set 1 monster, set 2 back row pass. You can just go ahead and open your hand, be like, okay, extermination, one of the back rows. Okay, are you going to Icarus deck? Okay, burn your entire field because you have to pop 2 of your cards. Well, you have to tribute and then pop your own card and pop my Nobleman of Extermination. Congrats. I just turned a... I just made... What is that? That essentially gives me what? A +2? Right there? Right? If I'm correct, that's just a +2 off of playing 1 card. Big brain of shit. But yeah, no, outside of that, I think the deck is very standard. The 1 Dust Spirit, maybe you can make that 2 by taking out a Crow. But that's something that, you know, everyone else can go ahead and test around with. All right, we're going to go into 6th seed. We're going to start off with one of our Diva Hero decks. I think this one, again, not really much different. I mean, he is running the double Gilman. I don't know if I've spoken about it much on the channel, but in person, I just speak so lowly of people that run, not really people, of just decks that run double Spine Gilman. I get it, you know, sometimes you draw one and it still gives you a way to make like a level 5 synchro. But running 2 hard bricks in like opening hand with like no real way of like getting them back into the deck somehow, it just hurts my mind, body, and soul. It really does. I just can't. I mean, it works for him. He made it the top 8. But no, let's see. Outside of that, he is also running double Gold Sarcophagus. This card has actually been coming up quite a bit in the tournament. I think a few of my opponents played it, as well as I think quite a few of the people in Top Cut are also playing Gold Sarcophagus. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I also think that's just the nature of like the decks that I play, which is the reason for that. But I believe I heard him speaking about it later in the event where I can't remember what exactly he said, but he thinks it's probably one of the most busted cards in the format, and I beg to differ. But he made top 8, I didn't, and I'm just being maybe a little bit of a hater, but maybe I might trust it out. I might build one of these decks. We'll see, and I'll see if Gold Sarcophagus actually helps me out, or maybe I might even put it in some of my other decks. I don't know. He is electing, of course, to run Triple T Prison. This, in all honesty, it's just too good of a card not to run, at least at 1. And if you can't run it at 1, like, make some room for it. It's just too good. Just go ahead and just banish the card. Immediately just banish a card. Let's see. Double Raigeki Break, that's fine. Return is fine. Dust Shoot, yep. Double Bottomless in the main. Yeah, no, that's pretty standard. I mean, I think other decks, other ones maybe run 1 or 2. He's running 3. I think that's absolutely smart. Just absolutely busted card, especially since most of the time your monsters will kind of tend to be a little bit weaker. He's also, I just realized this right now as well, he's not running Dark Arm Dragon. All right, he does have quite a bit of darks to go ahead and play it, but he is not running it. I do think at the event he did mention that he doesn't play it because more often than not it's a brick in the hand, and he doesn't really ever have multiple darks in graveyard, mainly due to Miracle Fusion, and most of them going ahead and getting banished. This tends to be banished because you'll use it. These are almost always banished for Miracle Fusion. Same with these. And then these are like your only main 4 darks. So getting them all in the grave, or getting at least 3 of these in the graveyard, maybe you can be a little bit, or no, I bet 5 because you got Senga. But yeah, those 5, he was saying he doesn't really care for it too much. So if it works for him, it works for him. And then we're going to go down here into the side where, oh, surprise, surprise, he's running triple Sirocco. Same thing like I was saying before. Sirocco's just really great with dealing with Black Wings players because you can just go ahead and normal summon it. It gets around oppression. It's able to help clear your opponent's board. They have to deal with it immediately, and if they can't deal with it, then they're about to take a boatload of damage and possibly get gamed themselves if they don't have like Collude to mitigate some damage. He is running double DD Crow, double Dust, double Dyna, Light Imprisoning, Master Restrict, and a double Starlight Road in the side. This is another card that's starting to come back into the format. It's on that swing to where, you know, for a while not many people were playing it. It was maybe on like one deck of like 20, and I feel like now it's starting to come right back up, and it hurts my soul. It really does. I hate it whenever it's, oh, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and heavy, or I'm gonna Black Rose, or I'm gonna do something to go ahead and clear your field, or I'm like Lightning Vortex, and you're like Charlie Road. Nice. All right, I kind of just lose the game right here because I was not expecting that. So we're gonna go ahead and now move into 5th seed. All right, 5th seed. Here's another Diva hero deck. He is he is electing to go ahead and play the Dark Arm Dragon. He is also playing Gors, Spirit Reaper. He is only playing the one Gilman. He is playing one Snowman Eater, and I think that's it really for the difference with the monsters. The same spell and trap lineup. He is playing Return. He is, ooh, I'm just realizing this now, playing one main deck Devastation Virus. Oh, that is nasty. Oh my goodness, this guy's a maniac. And coupled with the Mind Crush to just go ahead and deal with like Monarchs and stuff like that in hand, that once he gets hand knowledge off deck dev. Oof. Whew. Nasty. Let's see, he is not playing the Treeborn, I believe. Yes, he's playing the Treeborn. He is not playing the Treeborn, which is a little sad. I feel like Treeborn in these decks is actually really good. It's nice tribute fodder for Kai's. You can go ahead and get it in the graveyard for Future Fusion. But yeah, oh, okay, so let's see. He is electing to play, of course, the 1D Prison. No, card's busted. You definitely should play it. He is also playing Compulse, Solemn, Torrential, and Mirror Force. I forget, was he playing any of these? He was playing the Torrential and Mirror Force, but he was not playing the Solemn and the Compulse. Compulse is just really nice to go ahead and deal with problematic cards, especially Absolute Zero. If you're going against it, you can go ahead and trade easily. And then let's see, you also got the Solemn and the double Bottomlesses. The Bottomless in the main are disgusting. I personally run them in the side because I like to have them not dead versus certain matchups game 1. But for the most part, these are almost always in everyone's main. Let's see, going into the side, we got the 2 Dinos, 1 Thunder King Ryo. Oh, I think this is one of the guys that was running a lot of 1s. So we got the 1 Thunder King, 1 DD Crow, the 2nd Snowman Eater, 1 Nobleman, again with the Prohibition. It's a little shame that he's only running 1, but I think, you know, running multiples would probably be better. But if you have the read on 1 card and you're able to use that knowledge, I mean, why not? I mean, you're also running deck dev and Mind Crush, so you're gonna have pretty good hand knowledge on what your opponent's running. 1 Smashing, 1 My Body. I do wonder what this My Body is really for. I feel like maybe it's probably for Absolute Zero, I would say, because you can use it, right? I believe in damage step to protect your monsters. Oh, maybe you can, maybe you can't. I'm not entirely certain. I want to say yes. He is running the 2nd Compulse, Light Imprisoning, 1 of them, Double Decree, and double Pulling the Rug. Is this the first Pulling the Rug in top 8? It is the first Pulling the Rug in top 8. Oh my lord, really? I just noticed that right now. Oh. That's actually kind of crazy. I would not have expected this to be the first time that Pulling the Rug actually comes up. So yeah, now let's go ahead and move into our fourth place. Fourth place again. Here we go with the Diva Hero. Oh my god, there's so many. He's playing about the same as everyone else. The only noticeable difference is he's running the Armageddon Knight. I believe. Oh, he's running the Armageddon Knight in place of the Grapher. He was running the Tragodia. He is also running the Gores. And he's also running Spirit Reaper. He did elect to run the Treeborn. And yeah, that's pretty much the only biggest difference is what the Trag and the Armageddon Knight in place of the Greffer. I think this is mainly just so that way you can dodge Bottomless and get a guaranteed pitch to the graveyard. Yeah, no, that's it for the monsters, spells and traps, all standard. Ooh. I love this. I love this a lot. I've been doing it a bunch. Smashing Ground of the Main. It's no one expects it, right? No one expects it. It's too good of a card. I think everyone should main at least one. It's non-targeting, so it deals with so many problematic cards in the format, mainly being like Thought Ruler, you know, Titanial, or oh, where's other? If you guys have any other ones, I'm completely blanking on, just go ahead and put them down in the comments below. But those two are like some of the bigger ones that are way more annoying to deal with because, you know, this is non-targeting. So you got Brain Control, Minecon, Solemn Break, yeah, pretty standard, and then coming down into the side. So we got Double Sidra, 1 DD Crow, Haiku. He's actually really nice. I think he's actually pretty strong against a lot of decks, especially Diva Hero. Because the second you summon it, your opponent has to deal with it, or else they can't Miracle Fusion, or they can't Mally. They can't do a lot of things because your opponent cannot banish things from their graveyard, or banish things from either graveyard. So they can't even Crow you while it's up on the field. You got the 1 Vanities. Let's see, you got the 1 Dyna, the 1 Snowman Eater because they're not running one in the main. 1 Nobleman to go ahead and deal with them annoying face down decks. Prohibition. Again, coming up. Is that 3 Prohibitions? Top 1, 2, and yeah, 3. Got 3 Prohibitions. The second pulling the rug. 1 Light Imprisoning Mirror. 1 Deck Devastation Virus. And 2 Royal Decrees. I think when I was reading over the side deck in the deck list that they submitted, there was, I think he was missing a card in his side. I think he forgot to put it down, or he was just running a 14 card side. This happened twice. There was another person that was also running 14 cards in their side. I think either because they didn't have the other card or something got mixed up. Let's go ahead and go into, oh, now here comes our second Light Sworn player. Light Sworn. He is running the Arukas. He's running 2 Arukas, and he's also electing to run 2 Nimble Hamster, where the other one was only running 1. He's also playing the Gale and both Gores and Tragodia. I believe he was playing just the Tragodia, no Gores. 3 Solar Recharge. Here comes the Sarcophagus. A golden Sarcophagus in this deck just makes sense because you can go ahead and just get JD. You get it in 2 turns. That's 2 turns of you being able to mill and go ahead and clear out like your deck, and that way you don't have to worry about milling it. Let's see, he's also running the main deck Trunade. I'm assuming that's to deal with the decree of his own, or maybe some other just shenanigans that his opponent has. That way you can just go ahead and push for game. He's running the double beckoning and double decree in the main. I feel like this conflicts a little bit, but you know, you do have the Trunade to just go ahead and bounce these back to hand, set 2 of them again, and then go ahead and use the beckoning light, and then just use the decree later on. Let's see, going into the side, you got the Triple Pro, double Sniper Dragon. He is running the Cold Wave on the side. I think this is the first Cold Wave in a while that we've seen. I feel like this card has actually come out of a lot of people's side decks and main decks, just because there's a lot more powerful spells that people are running, and people don't want to like bog themselves down majority of the time. But yeah, maybe this might come back up again to where this might be a more prevalent card, but we'll see. I think there's only like a handful of decks that really use it, so it's a fullest potential. So yeah, you got the 1 MST in the side, 2 dust shoot in the side, not in the main. Here we go again with the double pull in the rugs again, Solemn in the side, and Mirror Force. I don't know, pretty outside of, I think, running the decrees in the main. I think this is pretty standard, minus the Arucus. You can actually probably just cut to Arucus, put 1 roll decree in the side. What? Yeah, take these 2 out, take a hamster out, and then boom, that's like standard light spring. But I like this. This card's annoying and good, so people are gonna start playing it more. And I'm gonna have to come up with creative ways to go ahead and deal with it. Now we're gonna go into second place after Swiss. EV Heroes again. All right. Whoa! This is the last one, I think. Yeah, it is the last one. I believe the next one is Frogs. So let's see. Pretty standard. He is playing the 1 Gilman. He is playing the Greffer as well. Oh, Prodigy, Trigodian Gorse, the Spirit Reaper, and the 1 Treeborn, and then everything else is pretty much the exact same. He is also running the double gold sarcophagus. As I said, people are saying this card is actually kind of busted. Not even kind of, is just busted, and people are actually sleeping on it, and they should be playing it more. Like I said before, I beg to differ, but we're just going to go ahead and see how the format continues to evolve and see if Gold Sarcophagus actually starts coming back into the meta. Because I do remember in the past when I first started playing EDISON, this card was like everywhere, and then it just completely fell off, and then now it's making a resurgence. So it's kind of cool, but kind of see where it goes. Trap lineup standard. No, I was gonna say no deprison, but there it is right there in the last spot. Always got to run at least 1. Let's see, going down here, standard. I mean, you got Dinos and you got your Vanities. Drunade inside. This absolute behemoth of a person, man, woman, child, whatever, is running double deck dev. Oh, this card haunts my dreams. You got your 2 Royal Decrees, 2 Master Restricts, and Mind Crush. I'm gonna say this right now. I don't know if the next deck plays it or no. The next deck shouldn't play it, but I'm not the hugest person on Massive Restrict. I don't think the card is necessarily that great. It kind of just feels like putting a band-aid over the problem most of the time. And a lot of decks nowadays, even Frogs, have options to go ahead and get around it, mainly with like, what is it, Junk Synchron, I think it is. You just normal summon it, you make Braionic, you bounce it back to hand, and then you just go ahead and combo off from there, or you just go ahead and bounce everything else on their field and then combo off from there. And then they have Master Restrict there, and then guess what? If you have Gores in hand, it's dead. Good job. So I think there's better options than Master Restrict. I think possibly if you're afraid of Frogs as well as just other decks that have smaller monsters, playing Change's Appearance. I was bringing that card up to a lot of people. Maybe they might start playing it, maybe they won't, who knows. But I just think this card's very mid, and I think people should definitely look to play something else that's not. And here we go with first place. All right, first place is our Frog. All right, Diva Frog. Frognards. He is running the 1 Light and Darkness Dragon in the main. All right, he's also running 1 on the side. This card is actually disgusting, especially since Rounark. I'm gonna butcher that dude's name, even though he like clearly said how to pronounce it in on I'm Nerd's podcast. But you know, that's just me. I'm terrible with fucking names. He has Light and Darkness, and he's also running the Death Frog. This card I never really see people play most of the time, but it's an additional summon that you can go ahead and get off of Swamp Frog, which is kind of nice. I can't remember what other reasons are that people play it. If anyone knows, please comment down below. Let me know. Educate me, please and thank yous. He's running the 2 Divas, and he's also running 3 Junk Synchrons. Most decks I mainly see only play 1. In fact, this guy is playing 3. Just big brain. He wants to get the synchros off. He gets the combos off, and then he's just able to go ahead and just power around synchros immediately afterwards. Really dope. He is electing to play 1 Ryza, and he's playing 2 Thessalos. All right, 2 Thessalos is really good. I still don't see the value in it. I really don't. I've tried it more often than not. It would end up biting me in the ass because I would go ahead and pitch their Mally, and I'm like, dope. You're gonna combo off next turn, and I'm gonna lose. But outside of that, I think that's really it. He's electing to play 2 Fader instead of 3, like most decks normally do. Brain control. He is playing the creature swap, which I think is kind of neat because you can just go ahead and just creature swap a Treeborn, or you can just creature swap your Treeborn with like whatever it is that they have on their board, and then because it doesn't target, you can take whatever they have. Enemy controller, of course, got to run 2 or 3 at the minimum. He's running the main deck, Nobleman of Extermination. All right, like I said before, Blackwing player wants to get cute. Set 1 monster, set 1 pass. Draw phase, standby phase, main phase, extermination. All right, goodbye. Goodbye to whatever trap that was, or you got to chain it now. Let's see, 1-for-1 reinforcements. Get the Junk Warrior. I actually like this. I think I might run this. I think I might combi most of this list for my Frog deck. I need to make some alterations to it. It's doing like okay or mid at best. I think this will actually maybe speed it up and help it out quite a bit. He is running Autonomous Action Unit. This is a this is a tech that I've like had my eyes on for like months to like use. You're just paying 1,500 and just go ahead and just stealing like whatever it is in their graveyard that you want, and then go ahead and making a synchro play off of it. Or you can just go ahead, if you're going against like the mirror, or you're going against like, so say in like Diva Frog or Diva Hero, just go ahead and take one of their heroes. You can take the Treeborn, take whatever it is in their graveyard, banish it with Mural Fusion with like one of your other cards. Their resource is gone, and then you just plus the monster, and all it did was cost you like 1,500 life points. Pretty cool. You got 2 Kaikus. You got the second Light Darkness. All right. This man is a monster. I love it. Mirror Force. You got Needle Sealing. This card does come up. I think people sleep on this card quite a bit. Actually helped me quite a bit when I did run it. Oh, man. And I actually enjoy the card. I might start running it again. We'll see. But I think this card is still quite slept on in certain decks. So 1 Salvage, double Snowman Eater, double Soul Exchange in the side. He's not running any in the main. That's ballsy. Got the 1 Torrential, double Uni, and he's electing to run the 2 Vanity's Fiends. All right. So now that is it for the top 8. All right. I'll go ahead and give you guys a preview of the 2 people that went ahead and made it to the finals. All right. 2 people made it to the finals are here. It is, I got to pull it up. It was Sergio and Ruben. Sergio being on the right, Ruben being on the left. It was a mirror. All right. It was a Diva Hero mirror. Shock. Surprise. I know, with 4 decks of that type being in the top 8, shocker that 2 of them made it to the finals. And yeah, I'll go ahead and post their deck list below. I will have coverage for the winners later this week. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please do let me know down in the comments below. Also, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video. Or oh man, this is the most speaking I've done forever. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get some more content of IRL, Edison, and retro format content. And if you guys have any suggestions, have anything you want to talk about the decks, please let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that bell to get notified whenever I go ahead and upload a new video. Oh, my mouth hurts, my throat hurts, and I would really like to drink some water. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the videos this week covering the event. All right, much love and deuces.